Been running the inverter about 5 hours. That's the temperature on the transformer. We hit right about 38 is the highest it hits, and you can see the fan is running there. Small LED is the fan controller output, and then the blue LED is the tachometer output of the fan. So this is keeping the transformer about 20 degrees C cooler than it did with the original fan controller, at least at this load. So I'm running 136 watts right now, running my upright freezer in the garage today. And the temperature here where the inverter is, we're probably about 32 C. So it's keeping the temperature probably within about 6 Celsius of the ambient temperature. So yeah, really happy with that so far. So we'll do a little testing later in the week, get a higher load running on there and see how that goes. But for now, I say that is working well. So doing a little higher load testing, I'm running about 380 watts. Pretty low power factor. We're pulling about 5.8 amps, 695, about 700 volt amps. And like I said, the power factor isn't all that great. This is running my clothes washer. Yeah, so there we go. It's been creeping up a little over 40 C on the transformer, and definitely the airspeed of the fan is up. I don't even see the two LEDs flickering. Not sure if the camera picks up anything. Looks like they're on steady. Up, and now the load is shut off. Fan keeps running though, even though the load is shut off, so it's cooling things down. You can see the temperature has dropped already. So I ran 3 loads of laundry, and the highest I saw it hit was about 45. I think this is good for a second round of testing. Maybe I'll try a little bit higher load. So I got my 2 heat lamps. One's a red one, the other one's infrared. Both about 150 watts, and then a pair of 60 watt incandescent bulbs. And there's the kilowatt meter, 558 watts AC, 4.64 amps. Yeah, pretty good power factor there, 0.99. So there we go, pulling in 45.7 amps. 700 watts DC going into the inverter. So I'm running the 4 light bulbs plus my upright freezer. So there we go. It started right about 42 C. It had been off for maybe 10-15 minutes while the freezer was cycling. I'll leave this on for say half an hour and see what kind of temperature we hit. Yeah, it's definitely kicking out some air on the side. So we've got the fan running, and we'll just watch the temperature there. So I'll come back in maybe 20-30 minutes and we'll see if it stabilizes or does it just keep rising. Yeah, so it's been about 20 minutes at 550 watts. The freezer just shut off, and it's now at 420 watts with a light bar, and the highest I hit was 42.8, so the temperature only went up 0.8 of a degree in that time. It didn't seem like it was going up, without limit. It was creeping up slowly, but I think that's pretty successful. Now this load has a really good power factor because I've power factor corrected the freezer, and then the incandescent lights, of course, are power factor of 1. I think that helps, because the inverter doesn't have to work as hard to power that load because the power factor is good. I think I'm going to call that good. I'm going to turn off these lights. So yeah, I think this is adequate cooling. It didn't seem to run away at 550 watts. I will hit higher power on this, but only briefly. So like my clothes washer will hit 500, 600 watts for a couple of minutes during the spin cycle, but then it shuts off. The freezer will hit maybe 1,000 watts when it first turns on, but then it drops down to about 130. And most of the other loads I run are the same way. They might have a startup surge, but then they drop off. But yeah, I think I will call this temperature controller a success. I think that fan is adequate. It keeps this thing fairly cool, and I think it's cooled off a little bit because the sun's gone off of the patio roof. Let's see what the thermometer says here. Yeah, we're down like 32, 33 in here right now. So earlier when it was up at 45 on the thermometer, it was about 35 in here. Now it's about 32 out back and the thermometer's reading 42. So this thing looks like it holds within 10 Celsius or 18 Fahrenheit. I think that's a pretty reasonable temperature. You can't get too much lower than that. So I guess the next time I show you this, I'll be adding those auxiliary circuits over there for the Arduino and display and relay and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I hope you found that interesting. I'll post any updates over here on the left side. And if you have any questions or feedback, post up in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.